Hey, I'm Coral and this is Coral Gardens. We're gonna do a quick garden tour on a hot August day. I think it's the 16th. See what we got growing. I'm gonna be a little fast this time because I am already hot in this black shirt. Hope your gardens are doing great and it's not too hot out there for you. And hope your frost isn't coming anytime soon either. The herbs, this dill is really covered in aphids and I picked all the flowers off because some were even going to seed. And all the herbs, I mean, I've been harvesting them a lot more, but they look a little more sparse. Still haven't got these guys in the ground. I'm really slacking on that. These peanuts, this is exciting. I remember I talked about how they go into the ground and that's where they make peanuts. These guys are buried in the ground. And there's little spikes coming off like that guy there. See it? And those will all be peanuts. Oh, there's one in the ground right there that I just pulled out, so I don't want to mess with it too much. But they'll find their way into the ground. Let's go around to the front of the flowers. The potatoes are looking good. They definitely need to be held up, and Cameron's going to grab a bag of compost to do that in the next couple days. All the flowers are looking a lot better, making a lot more heads, spreading out. There's a little wasp on that leaf there. I don't know what he's doing hanging out upside down. There's a little flower hidden in there, a little zinnia. But the gomphrena and the celosia are making lots of heads. I need to cut these because they're actually dried out and going to seed. See if there's seeds. Oh yeah, look at, there's a little tiny seed. Oop. Hello. See if we can, there we go. Little tiny seeds in there. I might just take these few heads off that are seeding. Might save them even. Put them in my pocket for now. And that'll help the plant know to keep making more. See, this guy's so big and long. Oops, now I'm so focused on the wrong things. Anyway, and pretty soon I'm gonna come get these gomphrena because they're great drying flowers and I like to put them in little vases I have for the off season. Here's our youngest three sisters. This guy's finally getting a lot of flowers going, but I do not see any females as of yet to know what this pumpkin or squash is. Hopefully soon. Melons are flowering. Geez, everything is really blurry. Oh, there we go. Hey. This is the pumpkin that's really green. This is the pumpkin that's just spread out everywhere. This guy's kind of struggling, but his color's getting better since we fed him. We're gonna feed again tomorrow. We got some corn cobs forming. This one might even be ready to pull and let dry, but I guess we'll let him dry on the cob. They don't feel like, oh yeah, that one feels pretty good. This one here. I don't know if they got 100% pollinated, but I think we'll at least have some little decorative corns to display or sell. So there's that pumpkin that's really sprawled out. He's mixed in with this big watermelon here that's just going everywhere, and I'm just letting it now. I picked the watermelon that was off this because he had gone squidgy, and I gave him to the chickens, which I'll show you. But they really like that. There's our little struggle guy. The amaranth looks pretty though, especially with the rays of sun. There's a little tiny watermelon there. And I'll show you what I mean by the other watermelon getting squidgy. I think that it's a sunspot potentially. Like sun scald, but this part right here is soft. When I broke open the one for the chickens, it smelled just fine. So I think what we'll do is maybe just cut off the squidgy area and eat it because I don't want it to go to waste, and I'm happy to feed the chicken some things, but I would like some things too. Here's our last Zuni waffle garden three sisters bed, and it's got that one watermelon. I don't know if any of the replacements I planted came up. I don't know if they get the right amount of water, but we'll even them out next year for sure, but it really was a good technique. walking through spider webs and I feel kind of guilty. I don't know. Yeah, let's just go in here and then we'll come back to the outer sides. These flowers are trying to make a little dead guy come back. And the bees are liking it, so I left some seeds on them. They probably would have been happier if they got all the seeds off, but some of those are really pretty. And we have some amaranth. And this little guy was cute. He's already dried up. I don't know if the birds will eat them when they're that small. Tiny little sunflower. That guy had some blooms on it, and so did that guy, but this is the main one that's trying to make it come back with all that green. And I just took video of hummingbirds hanging out on it, so I'll post that. I didn't know that would interest them at all. Hi, babies. These two are so super friendly. Hi, guys. Here, or split it in, you know. I did not know that hummingbirds had any interest. I don't know how much pollen is in them, or I hope we don't get little high hummingbirds flying around. They probably know what they're doing though. So some are bigger. These guys in the back are pretty small. I don't know if it's just lack of light or nutrients and water, potentially. This is a Yeti. That one's a blueberry. This one's a Benton, a mix that my friend gave me. And then I always forget to tell you guys the names of these other ones. Let's see. So this is the OC one, which I think was Onyx Cookies. I'm almost positive that's what it was. So there's little buds forming on all those. And I guess that's what the hummingbirds are liking. This one is GMOP, which is Girl Scout. These two are Girl Scout blends, I believe, cookies. But I'll put the GMOP, I'll find what that variety is. And then the last big tall ones right here are, let's see, is this your pot guy? Yeah, these guys are something called Max, but Max is short for something, and I'll look it up and put it on the screen when I edit this. Editing Coral, remember that? You said you'd do that. Sunflowers from this side are pretty too. Tomatoes. Getting flowers, starting to make some tomatoes finally, August 19th. It's a little bit of a bummer tomato season. That was one of our biggest crops last year. But we're behind. And then this is our freak show, maybe, saved seed. And I pulled a leaf off of here yesterday that was so huge and had so many leaves. So I don't know if it's not a normal leaf pattern. So I guess it is something like the freak show kind of reverted, but not all the way. That's my guess. I don't know much about the genetics of it, but try and pull off these yellow ones when I can, just so the plant's not wasting energy on them. And it makes it look a little prettier. Oh, yeah. Here's our giant autoflower bud. This is just like one big giant bud, basically. We're gonna pull that and dry it out pretty soon. These tomatoes are looking better than the other ones. They got in a little earlier. This guy definitely needs some trellising. He's really big. I didn't notice how big. I haven't picked him up, but he's getting big and getting some tomatoes on. So we'll trellis those guys up. We're just gonna do a Florida weave method. So just bring out some twine. So there's those. I'm pretty stoked on our potential harvest, even though we lost quite a few to being males. So what can you do? I guess get feminized flower or clones, and then you know. Oh, hi little birdies. The birds love this amaranth and they love the sunflower, so there's little like songbirds out here all the time. This one's a little yellow crookneck. I had my son's cousin took me to a rheumatologist appointment the other day. And then my son got me a massage, which was so nice. And the kids went swimming. The kids, I say, they're 25. 23 and 25, I think. But when she came back, I gave her a bunch of zucchini and squash. So she took one of those, one of the gray zucchinis from here, and Zeppelin, which I just picked a big Zeppelin off of here and gave it to the chickens. This one is a green zucchini too, I believe, as is that one. Here's our big, huge gray zucchini. This is a mammoth, probably one of the biggest squashes I've ever grown. There's a big, giant gray zucchini on, and then one there that's just getting fertilized. We got lots and lots of tomatillos going all along the fence line. These are our lunchbox peppers. I'm trying to let them ripen to yellow or orange because they're even better and sweeter when they do. But you can eat them green as well. Our little bell peppers are second wimpiest actually, because this is one of the originals that we didn't get from the nursery. Got it from a friend. And he's just hanging in there. That's a Chileno, I think. I got lots of little volunteer red amaranth in here. I just deheaded this zinnia to see if he could try and make a comeback, but he's really struggling. Shishitos. Finally starting to put on some sizable peppers. There's one there. These are really great, just sauteed and blistered with a little salt. And then here, there's a little our sun scalded Anaheims, and we've been using these in salsas. It's the first time I've grown a pepper that had that point up growth habit. It's weird how they all have different ways they put on peppers. They're very unique. So then there's more of the tomatillos. One's really bushy with a lot of flowers. I don't see a lot of tomatillos on it yet. There's our tomatoes. These are our determinate varieties. Pretty small and puny, but hanging in there. I think I've discovered the way I should do these garden tours now. I think this is the best route. But this guy's getting pretty big. His tomatoes are getting pretty big. And he's finally up in a cage, so he's got a little more purpose. I'm gonna put a cage on that guy. This is, I think, the tomatillo with the biggest tomatillos, and it is the smallest plant. But there's a big tomatillo there and here. And he might be small because he focused on tomatillos too early. Our little Mexican sunflower has its first bloom. And these are really multiflora. So you can see there's multiple heads forming other places. So it'll get big and bushy with a whole bunch of really pretty orange blooms. There's a little closed tomatillo flower. They're not ready to open yet. They open a little later in the morning. Little amaranth patch. And here's that arugula that went to seed is still just completely bushed out mad with tons and tons of bees every day, all day. They love it. They're making some good honey. I recently found out, and I don't know how I didn't realize this, that the honey they make is their winter food supply. So we're like stealing their winter food supply. And I guess people who keep bees give them sugar water instead. And I think that sucks. So one of the people I watch is Becky at Acre Farms, and she just started keeping bees, and she's great because she does a lot of research. She's really smart about a lot of things, even though she hasn't gardened for much longer than I have. But she said that her and her husband are not going to probably get any honey except for to taste a little their first year, and then in subsequent years they're just going to take a small amount and leave the bees the majority of it and try not to have to give them any sugar water, because why would you take away their natural diet and give them cane sugar? So can't be the best thing for them. Anyway, these squash are doing okay. There's a spaghetti there that's pretty nice. And this is a different color from my other two spaghettis I grew last year. I had several seed packs of spaghetti squash, so I don't know which one is better. Some came out This one came out late green. The other ones came out dark green and lightened. And then some came out yellow right from the beginning. So I don't know which is best. These guys are still hanging in. I saw a baby on this one. I thought I figured out what he was, but now, oh yeah, there was one. Where was it? Oh yeah, it's way up here. He's a little Thromboncino or center cut, potentially. Here's a little butternut squash growing, and we still have our little master baked potato. I can't remember which one I got. I think it said the baked potato was a little even more flavorful and dry, like more like a potato. So I think that's the one I went with. Our beans are still doing pretty good. Some are getting pretty tall, our long beans. We've been harvesting quite a few. And I think the red are a little slower to get started, but now we're finally getting red long beans as well. I think I like the look of the red, but the flavor of the green a tiny bit better. And I just helped pull this guy up, and long beans are pretty easy because you can just kind of twist them around. Beans are. Squash are a little harder because it's the tendrils that hold them up. We had a bit of a travesty. I'll show you in one second. Oh, look. What is that guy, I wonder? Maybe he's a gourd or another cucumber. It could be an Armenian yardlong. We lost an Armenian yardlong to the squirrels the other day. They have been eating, I don't know if you could see the tips off of all of these. So the plant just keeps having to regrow and correct it, which is really annoying. But I was fine with it because they had been leaving alone this beautiful Kajari melon that is my main concern. This one right here is full size and beautiful, and we're just waiting on it to ripen. And this one was our second largest, and the squirrels got to it. So I'm leaving it on the vine in hopes that the squirrels will just come back and continue to eat that one, like we make a pact. That's what I did last year with the squash. They ate off the same Zephyr squash for a really long time so that I didn't have to keep losing them. So hopefully they'll be somewhat nice. I wish they would eat some of the zucchini instead. We have so much of that, but I really want those Kajari melons. Here's our little amaranth arch. Just kind of doing its thing, looking pretty in the morning light. But yeah, garden. There's the sunflowers over there. They are just, even though I'm not deadheading them, they just keep showing out and showing out. I hope those keep volunteering forever. It's really fun to watch the birds just tear at this amaranth. I'm sure it's getting spread far and wide, which I don't think is a bad thing. But yeah, let me one last time show you from this side, because I think it's more impressive how large that zucchini plant is. And we've been plagued with squash bugs, but I've kind of kept the populations down, and I think that that has allowed these to do pretty well. Looks like the other ones that we planted, the new ones to replace these 3 of them, didn't come up, so maybe try again. I think we have just enough time to get them producing. I see a little bit. It's funny when you garden, you really get an eye for birds and bugs moving. So now I feel like I can spot movement from a million miles away when it's a little organic creature. But yeah, so that's the garden today on the 19th. And I hope you'll come hang out with us next time. Wish me good luck with the squirrels. And I hope your gardens are doing great. Have a good day. That's it for our August 16th garden tour. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Hope you're having a great one. I'm gonna get out of the sun now.
Like and subscribe.
It's too hot out here is what I'm trying to say. I went and hung out with a friend when I should have been watering, and now this is what my lot in life. Good Lord, this hair, what am I doing? It is hot in the sunshine.